shit. I'm speechless. Um, that was one of the most incredible things I've ever witnessed in my entire life. It is a miracle on grass, to quote the great Anthony Hudson. It is by far, I can't even review it properly because I'm just a raw emotion. And to sit here and be like, holy shit, Port Adelaide won by 1 point in the most incredible of circumstances. We battled all day. Hawthorn got the better of us at the contest. They were much better around the ground. They moved the ball a lot better going inside 50. But Port Adelaide, whilst momentum was against them, whilst everything was going against Port Adelaide in as I mentioned, momentum, but a few free kicks were questionable. We weren't getting some of our own, and players were, the rain came out of absolutely nowhere. Like, it wasn't supposed to rain today like that, and it pissed down, and we saw 4 seasons. It was bloody freezing. Mistakes were made everywhere. We weren't on our game, but somehow there was resiliency in all of our players' minds, and we managed to claw our way back, and we kept coming back. We kept at it. 41 points down we were, and Port Adelaide found a way. I know for an hour, 59 minutes and 58 seconds, I was sitting there angry, miserable. I was sick of it. I'm hungover, which makes everything 10 times worse. But to sit here now and have a bit of perspective, but also a raw emotion, it's wins like these where nothing's going your way, you're just being dominated all day, and you find a way. You never give up. It's wins like that that put everything into perspective of, you can play shit, you can not play the way you want to, it's wet, you're not doing the things you should be doing, but you have the mentality to switch it on. And I feel sorry for Hawthorn because they were fantastic, and I'm not going to take any credit away from them because they were superb. And this is probably Port Adelaide's most undeserving win in the history. It's probably at number 1. But you just know with comebacks and things like that when you witness them and you just see it happening, and we got to 28 points at 3/4 time, Rioli kicks a goal, and then DBJ has a nice settler for a goal, and then Rioli has a moment with 33 seconds left to just settle himself, takes 10 seconds, kicks the goal. The composure of that man was superior. He stood up today in a special round to celebrate Indigenous culture and First Nations and everything to do with this special round for Sir Doug Nicholls round. He stood up in moments, and it was just, for us to be even in a position where we could win this game is incredible. Because, and I took my sister to the game, and she said to me that Port Adelaide always find a way to win those sorts of games. And we do. We look at the Hawthorn, the Houston game last year. We look at the game against Melbourne, where we just found a way to keep going, and we willed ourselves across the line. Even Geelong last week. These 2 wins are very different. But I sit here now, and I can tell you, Darcy byrne-jones has kicked a miracle of goal, a soccer off the deck, a half-assed attempt. I've seen these boys at open trainings and trainings, and they practice their soccer. They have 5 or 10 minutes where they're just playing and mucking about, playing a bit of soccer, getting around, Never think you'd actually get into a position where it would pay off. And I just want to talk about the build-up of the moment. Because this game, as a whole, is nothing to look back on and watch. It's terrible. Port Adelaide sucked majority of the time, as I mentioned. Backs against the wall, and Hawthorn are very good. And I'll get to that in a minute. But the moment I talk about, a clearance out from Butters, who had a fantastic last quarter. We talk about born leaders, and he was trying all day but just couldn't get himself going. He had 16 touches in the last quarter, and he willed himself. He willed the team along. And in the end, it was just his clearance inside 50, a chaos ball sliding out. The Hawks got to aim on. Got tackled by Jed McEntee, which was a superb tackle. That's exactly the sort of tackles and pressure we want from our small forwards. And Jed, that's going to be an underappreciated moment. And Jed definitely deserves that moment because he tackled, he created the loose ball, and Darcy byrne-jones pounced it on, and the crowd went mental. I had no idea what was going on. It was crazy. It was just, I cried. I'm not ashamed to say it. I cried. I had tears, and my voice, I sounded like 5 years old again. Like, it was just mental. To see this unfold before my eyes is just unbelievable. And it's these sorts of wins that we sit here and go, this is the difference between making the top 4 and making the top 8. It's the ugly, underappreciated wins like this that gets you into the top 4, that keeps your spot in the top 8. It's a moment that we'll remember forever. And the 36,000 that were there that braved the cold, braved the shitty performance that we had for the first 3 quarters. It's just an amazing tip of the hat to everyone, because I think as well, the crowd is always in it. It's always involved. And the way the people got on their feet and they started chanting, and they knew that there was a moment to pounce on this young Hawthorn lineup, and we did. 2 goals in the last 35 seconds. The Rioli goal that he kicked early in the last quarter, the DBJ goal. We knew that there was momentum coming our way, and the crowd was a significant part in that. And I just want to acknowledge everything, because it was amazing. And I'll get to the rest of the game in a second, but this is a moment we should cherish forever, and I will, because it's outstanding. It's I'm amazed. I take everything I said negatively back, right? I was very negative throughout the game. I was like, you know what, we've just come off a great performance. There's such a stark contrast between our best and our worst at the moment, and consistency is definitely a question we need to be asking ourselves. But I'm not going to question the resiliency, the never give up attitude, and the way we were able to do that. Normally, in situations where we get so far behind, we crumble. But as soon as we get a sniff for a win, we find a way to win. So to do that was exceptional. We just went hard enough at the contest for the first 3 quarters. Our pressure was deplorable. Mistakes were easily made. We didn't adjust to the conditions. I think we were too tall down back. And, the way that all ended up was the fact that Ollie Wines got subbed for his heart palpitations, which I very much hope he's okay. Definitely will have a rest next week. That's a given. At least Rosie's going to come back for him, but definitely a rest for him. And I hope he's okay and everything is all right with him. But yeah, Zerk Thatcher comes on. Surprisingly, was really, really good. I think him and Alir were very, very good. I think Radaglia sort of lost his way a little bit in the wet conditions. I thought Houston was amazing, along with Horn Francis. There were players in their moments that were actually lifting the team, but everyone else was sort of just being pulled along for the ride. And I think when we had moments that we could have snapped back in, we were 21 points down at halftime. I even thought then, I was like, this can go either one or two ways. We lose big, or we come back and we win this by 2 or 3 goals. We've just given a lowly ranked side a head start, and we'll build it back. But never eventuated. They kept toying away at us, Hawthorn, and they were very, very good and very, very impressive. They were very confident too, which as a young side, you live off that. You can feel that energy, and you could definitely see that they were living off each other's confident energy, and they had massive presence around the contest. The likes of Mabo Chol was very, very good. Warple was very, very good. I thought obviously Hardwick is a great leader. I think McKenzie kicked 4 goals, if I was correct. I'm not 100% sure on that stat, but the players stood up for them, and I think they were really, really good. They were very, very desperate in that last quarter, and they were finding ways to try and keep us away. But in the end, our resiliency, our battleness, and the will to get a win outshined. And I question a lot about the coaching and our plans coming into this one. And for an hour, 58 minutes and 1 second, or whatever we ended up playing, I think it was, we led for 26 seconds out of 121 minutes or so. To have that moment and win a game like that is incredible. Well done, Port Adelaide. That's we're going to remember that moment for a long, long time. I actually recorded it too, and I'll put that up a little bit later. But yeah, Port fans, let me know in the comments below, because that is an unbelievable victory. Thank you so much for watching this review, Port fan. I'm sorry I haven't gotten into it in too much detail. I'm just raw of emotion. I think that's how you live off these sorts of things, and that's what the channel's based off of, is just raw emotion. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for any more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. My name's Anthony, and as always, I love you, DBJ.